It's Friday, February 5th, and this is now on HNN.
This is money directly in people's pockets. They need it.
President Biden meets with lawmakers to push forward on a $1.9 trillion relief package.
Hail to the heroes. I'm Skyler Henry in Tampa, talking with some of the healthcare workers who scored tickets to Super Bowl 55.
We say a hui-ho to an acting legend best known for his role in The Sound of Music. Plus, details on a deadline many filing for unemployment in Hawaii need to have on their radar. These stories and more coming up on This Is Now. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on This Is Now on your Aloha Friday. I'm Casey Lund, filling in for Jonathan Soppy, who's off for another few days, alongside Ian Shearing here in the Digital Center. And we want to get right to the latest COVID numbers we just got in, Ian.
Yeah, just from the Department of Health a few minutes ago, 101 new cases of COVID-19 reported today. No new COVID-19 related fatalities. We're also expecting a press conference by Governor David Ige coming up at around 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're expecting that topic of conversation to be the COVID-19 variant strains that we've been spending a lot of time talking about. In the meantime, though, in Washington, D.C., Natalie Brand is following the latest on President Biden's federal COVID-19 relief plans.
President Biden says the weaker than expected January jobs report is another sign Congress needs to pass COVID relief as soon as possible.
I see enormous pain in this country. A lot of folks trying to figure out how to keep their jobs and take care of their children. A lot of folks reaching the breaking point.
The president met with House Democratic leaders at the White House Friday morning to discuss the next steps for his $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package.
We hope to be able to put vaccines in people's arms, money in people's pockets, children safely in schools, and workers in their jobs.
This follows an all-night vote-a-rama with senators proposing dozens of amendments to the budget resolution.
I would urge the adoption of my amendment.
The resolution passed early Friday morning, with Vice President Kamala Harris needed to break the party line vote.
The Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the concurrent resolution as amended is adopted.
House and Senate negotiators will now work on a final bill in committees, which Democrats could pass without Republican support. Democrats hope to finish drafting the measure in the next 2 to 3 weeks so President Biden could sign it before current federal unemployment benefits expire in mid-March. Senate Republicans accuse Democrats of ignoring their $600 billion counterproposal, which offered more targeted relief.
We need to give our economy its best shot at recovering to pre-pandemic levels.
President Biden has signaled he's willing to compromise on who is eligible to receive stimulus checks. His current plan would give individuals earning up to $50,000 a $1,400 check. Couples making $100,000 a year would get $2,800. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
While lawmakers focus on an economic relief plan, there's been another encouraging development on the vaccine front. Johnson & Johnson has applied for FDA approval for their COVID-19 vaccine. Unlike the two-dose versions made by Pfizer and Moderna, the Johnson & Johnson version would be the world's first single-dose vaccine. Preliminary results showed the treatment to be about 85% effective against severe cases of COVID-19. An FDA panel will meet later this month to decide whether or not to approve that one-dose shot. About 1,000 active duty troops will begin deploying across the U.S. to help with vaccination efforts. They'll head to California first sometime early next week, but the plan could eventually include thousands more. President Biden has called on the Pentagon to help set up 100 mass vaccination centers around the country within the next month. This is separate from the ongoing National Guard deployment, where there are already over 20,000 Guards members providing COVID support nationwide.
As more Americans are being vaccinated, new, more contagious variants of the virus are being spread in the U.S. David Begnaud has more.
Ashley Jackson says she met her husband Alfonsier on a blind date.
Was it meant to be from the beginning?
Let me say it was. For me, I was kind of skeptical, but probably
The two were married for nearly 8 years. They have 2 young daughters. But their life together was cut short on Tuesday when Alfonsier died with COVID-19.
Were you able to be there with him when he passed away?
Through a window. It was like I was so far away, but I was close, but I was so far away. Even though the nurse, held his hand and stuff, it just didn't feel the same for me. I would rather did that.
He had had flu-like symptoms, but he tested negative for COVID. He then got short of breath. He went to the emergency room. Doctors said his heart was failing. And then a few days later, they tested him again.
I got the call from the health department saying, hey, your husband is the first person in Alabama with the UK strain.
That strain was first detected in the United Kingdom, thanks to a national coordinated effort to sequence samples of the virus to look for mutations. In this case, the strain had become more contagious and potentially more lethal. Identifying a dangerous variant early enough is crucial because it could help stop the spread. While UK scientists recently sequenced more than 12,000 COVID samples in a single week, here in the United States, we're only doing about 5,000 a week.
It's highly likely that there are variants that we are not picking up.
That is Jennifer Dienbard. She's the director of a lab at Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. She sequences samples from all over LA County. Now, she knows what variants are spreading there, but she says labs like hers aren't getting or they aren't sharing data at a national level.
If we see something here, and let's say it's only 1 or 2 cases, we may not recognize the importance or severity of it unless there are also other states, other cities that are seeing the same thing.
Mrs. Jackson says Alabama hadn't seen that variant first detected in the UK until they found it in 3 people, including her husband.
Did you get the sense that he was scared?
Yes, extremely, extremely. He was like, I didn't get a chance to walk my girls down the aisle or teach them how to drive. He don't have the opportunity to do those things.
You may be asking yourself, did Alfonsier have any pre-existing conditions? Ashley says none that they knew of. He wore his mask all the time. He went from home to work and home to work, didn't have much contact with other people, she says, over the last several months. Yet he still died in his mid-30s. David Begnaud, CBS News, Charleston, West Virginia.
We have an urgent update for a good chunk of folks who are filing for unemployment claims in Hawaii. 5:30 p.m. is the deadline to choose between extended benefits, EB-20, or the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, also called PEUC. The State Unemployment Office says you'll need to log in to their web account and click on the Extended Benefits Survey button to make your choice.
Meanwhile, unemployment across the U.S. fell slightly last week from 6.7% to 6.3%. Hawaii new jobless claims fell by about 100 last week to around 3,800. Kauai and Maui saw small increases while claims fell on Molokai on both sides of the Big Island and in all 3 Oahu offices. We still have about 3 times the number of new jobless claims as we did at this point last year. After months of blaming payment delays on a 20-year-old mainframe computer, the Hawaii Department of Labor and Industrial Relations is getting a new system. A company called Solid State Operations wants $13 million to install cloud-based software. The new system would be able to adapt more easily when rules change or when claims spike. Our Howard Dykes reports that Alabama installed that software a year ago to handle their claims and now have the best benefit payments performance in the nation. That new system will, however, take about a year and a half to get online.
HPD says they've been met with more resistance in recent years and that they've responded with more force. That's according to a new study that breaks down those instances by race, gender, and geography. Our chief investigative reporter, Lynn Kawano, has more.
The department usually does an annual study on the topic, but this year they did a 5-year look at all of its use of force incidents.
So this is going to cover the period from 2015 to 2019.
Assistant Chief Roddy Vanek broke down the comprehensive report for the Honolulu Police Commission Wednesday. Using pie charts and graphs, the results showed physical confrontations and deadly force steadily rising over the years. The report also said suspects are resisting more.
And I know that there are many people in the community who are extremely concerned about it.
HPD documents use of force and deadly force, as well as use of tasers and pepper spray. Men were more often on the receiving end of force by officers, but cases involving women are rising, the numbers showed. Causing the most concern for commissioners, the numbers with respect to race. Pie charts show the force incidents were used most against suspects identified as Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders every year. The report also said the group had the highest number of overall arrests. Commissioners reinforced the need for body camera videos to be used to determine if the force was necessary, especially with cries of racial injustice around the country.
I don't think I can emphasize enough how important the body-worn camera policy is for the department and how disturbing it actually is when police officers don't follow the body-worn camera footage policy.
Officers who turn off the body cameras when they're supposed to be on face suspension.
That is a violation of our standards of conduct, and that is part of our investigation. So definitely it's something that we take very seriously as a department as well.
The department says they increased the emphasis on de-escalation and crisis intervention training. Vanek said the jump in use of force cases in 2017 was in part due to a new reporting system. Vanek said it provided more details when force was used. There are a lot more details in the report. You can find that on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com. I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
The U.S. Army has officially charged Specialist Raul Hernandez Perez with the murder of his wife, Selena Roth. Military police found her body in a trash can last month while conducting a welfare check at a home on Schofield Barracks. Court documents say the two filed for divorce in October last year. Roth, a 25-year-old Army veteran, was laid to rest earlier this week in Florida.
Ethics watchdog groups say a former city councilman's new job with the Honolulu Rail project appears to be a conflict of interest. Joey Monahan oversees the rail budget as chairman of the council budget committee. He's now been hired as the Rail Authority's director of government relations and community engagement. Monahan told us he will follow ethics rules against lobbying his former colleagues, but critics say that's not enough.
Whether or not he could appear before city council officially, that doesn't prevent him from talking to city council members unofficially. And so those are concerns. Those are grave concerns.
And, I'm going to be very careful about that, at least, in the first year. Look, I don't want to, I don't want to trigger any complaints or, trigger certainly any violations. I don't think I have that much pull, to be perfectly honest with you, at the council.
Monahan says he is qualified for the job and doesn't think his hiring will make the council less likely to challenge rail decisions. The new position pays him $120,000 every year.
Christopher Plummer, a Canadian actor whose career spanned more than 6 decades, has died. He was 91 years old. NBC's Mark Barger has more on his life.
Christopher Plummer began his career in the theater in his native Canada. He became a star on Broadway, but won his greatest fame in Hollywood.
Nothing comes from
Plummer's best-known role, Captain Von Trapp, the strict single father of 7 in The Sound of Music. His interest in acting came after training in his childhood to be a concert pianist. Plummer loved the theater and was regarded as one of North America's finest Shakespearean actors. For his stage work, Plummer was nominated 6 times for Tony Awards and won twice. In his later years, his work earned him accolades as one of the best film actors of his generation. That's even though his first Oscar nomination didn't come until 2010 for his portrayal of Leo Tolstoy in The Last Station.
Despite good cause for it, I have never stopped loving you.
2 years later, at the age of 82, Plummer won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in Beginners, the oldest actor to win an Academy Award.
When I first emerged from my mother's womb, I was already rehearsing my Academy thank you speech. But it was so long ago, mercifully for you, I've forgotten it. I do not have the money to spare.
In 2017, Plummer's portrayal of J. Paul Getty in All the Money in the World earned him both Oscar and Golden Globe nominations at the age of 88.
The work is the most important thing in our biz. It's nice to have this along the way, but we've got to get back to work.
Christopher Plummer was one of a small number of actors to win Oscar, Emmy, and Tony Awards. He leaves a legacy of great performances and a deep affection for his art.
It's the mystique of our profession that we love so much, and that if we go on doing it and don't retire, it keeps us young.
Mark Barger, NBC News.
What a legacy. And we're taking a live look out at Diamond Head, a beautiful Aloha Friday. We did have some really colder temperatures this morning. Guy Hoggy and Billy V were tracking all those changes on sunrise. Let's check in with them.
How's it on this Aloha Friday? That stormy disturbance which flooded out parts of the state a couple of days ago, slow in leaving. Some leftover stormy scraps around the Big Island brought some heavy rain out towards the Kohala area and up towards Hawaii and out towards the Waipio Valley area. The rest of us, we're seeing drier conditions with just a few showers expected for some north and west facing shores. So today, lots of sunshine expected. High temperature still on the cool side though. Temperatures will be chilly into the weekend, with north winds coming up at about 5 to 15, and that means the high surf will be still beat up and sloppy. Now, as far as Super Bowl day, we're going to have gorgeous conditions here in Hawaii. Still, it's going to be chilly, though. High temperatures only running into the upper 80s, and those winds will be running light, maybe from the southeast. Now, the surf is still elevated, still big, still stormy to a large extent, not really good at all. Expected to clean up over the weekend as that swell starts to drop and the conditions start to clean up. So for today, northwesterly winds, chilly temperatures, and those chilly temperatures aren't leaving anytime soon. And we'll see maybe some rain shaping up for Monday night into Tuesday. Keep it here on Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
Thank you, Guy. Those cooler temperatures definitely noticeable in town, but even worse for some of our neighbors up north. Billy V went up to Mililani to check out how folks were faring up there.
Thank you very much. Boy, yes, it was cold this morning. As a matter of fact, when we first started out this morning for sunrise, we went up to Mililani Mauka to be exact. Started out at 57 degrees at 5 a.m. By the time it reached just before 7 a.m., it was 55 degrees. It had gotten 2 degrees colder. We made our way down to here, Aiea, so by 7:30, 7:45, some of the temperatures around the state, Honolulu was at 63, Kauai 63, Lanai City 59, Lihue 62, Kailua Kona 68 degrees, but that was on the warmer side of things. Here on the overpass, 61 degrees, so still chilly this morning. When we were up in Mililani, even though I was bundled up here in a jacket, some of the people were walking around in t-shirts, and I asked them, so cold? They said, yeah, but hey, welcome to Mililani.
For Mauka, it's usually like this, usually this cold.
Awesome. I noticed you came over to Starbucks. Did you get a warm drink this morning?
Nope, I got a cold drink.
A cold drink?
Cold drink.
Oh, okay. So you enjoy this kind of weather, obviously.
I do.
Okay, thank you very much. So everybody's talking about it, these nice, cool temperatures that we're enjoying, and it looks like we'll get a little bit more of these cooler temperatures here in Hawaii. I'm Billy V for This Is Now.
Changing gears now, about 7,500 healthcare heroes will have a special role at the Super Bowl on Sunday in Tampa Bay. Skylar Henry has more on those plans.
It took a pandemic for America to fully appreciate healthcare workers, and now the NFL is joining in.
Invite each member of your team to be our guest at the Super Bowl.
About 7,500 vaccinated healthcare workers from across the nation will attend Sunday's Super Bowl. That includes Florida nurse and Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan Rebecca Izquierdo.
Oh my goodness, we are so excited.
Rebecca and her coworkers sent the NFL a video asking to be among the healthcare heroes at the game.
Then we got the phone number for the NFL headquarters and we started calling them. So we were stalking them pretty much.
It worked. 24 staff members from Sarasota Memorial will be in the stands, and so will Rocky Walker. He's a chaplain at New York's Mount Sinai Heart Hospital, where he spent many challenging days visiting seriously ill COVID patients and comforting staff.
What's the last 10 months been like, just breathing that in and out every single day?
I've seen some of, I think, the worst things that I would ever want to see in the amount of death, the indiscriminate nature of the death. But there's a flip side of that, and I've seen mankind at its best.
The chaplain received his ticket from Patriots owner Robert Kraft, but he's a lifelong Kansas City Chiefs fan and says he can't wait to go to the game. He says he's representing millions of other healthcare workers who've risked their lives during the pandemic. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Tampa.
Just under 50 hours until game time. Remember, you can watch a special hour-long edition of Sunrise first thing on Super Bowl Sunday. In addition to the game preview, you get some of this. Our guy Kenny Patton puts the Sunrise crew through a serious workout. Plus, UH Athletics Director David Matlin gives us a sneak peek of the new home for UH football. We also catch up with Jesse Sapolu. That starts at 5:30 a.m. on Sunday, and then, of course, catch the Super Bowl on KGMB. Kickoff set for 1:30 p.m.
Oh, looks like fun. And continuing our Super Bowl madness coverage, in case you didn't know, for more than a half century, the Super Bowl trophy, also known as the Vince Lombardi Super Bowl trophy, has been created by Tiffany & Company, the world-famous jewelers. The iconic trophy is crafted with the utmost quality and detail, originally designed for the first Super Bowl back in '67, when former Tiffany & Company vice president sketched the trophy's basic design during a meeting with the then commissioner of the NFL. In '70, of course, the trophy was renamed for Vince Lombardi, coach of the Green Bay Packers, winner of the first 2 Super Bowls.
You know, the guys who play in the NFL, they don't really want that trophy too much until they find out that it's made by Tiffany, and
yeah,
the whole game plan changes. That's all that's in it for them.
Yeah.
Hey, we do have some other NFL news. This just came in on Twitter, if we're staying from the feeds. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell sent a letter to President Joe Biden yesterday. Here's what was in it. He offered to let the White House and the federal government use all 32 NFL stadiums as mass vaccination centers. That's something that's already being done at 7 stadiums, that, according to Roger Goodell in that letter. We've already seen places like Dodger Stadium in LA, a baseball stadium, being used as mass vaccination sites. Something that is surely going to help this vaccination effort. The ability to open up these massive facilities, not really even so much inside the stadium, but to use the parking lots as drive-through vaccination centers. We're seeing aerial footage of thousands of cars sometimes who are in these parking lots. They get shots, they move on their way. A much more efficient way to get these vaccines done.
Yeah, and in some cases a little more glamorous than our mass vaccination centers here, although we're very grateful for them. But how cool would it be to go to that LA stadium?
The LA stadium looks amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think that the first time you want to go to that stadium would be to get a COVID-19 vaccine under normal circumstances, but you do what you have to.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got some good news for you. A new nonprofit created by Miami Dolphins quarterback and Eva Beach native Tua Tagovailoa has officially come online. The Tua Foundation will support youth activities and health and wellness causes in Hawaii, in South Florida, where the Dolphins are based, and in Alabama, where Tua went to college. It's already given more than $16,000 to the Polynesian Football Hall of Fame up on the North Shore. They have a solid role model when it comes to foundations. Marcus Mariota's Motivate Foundation has already done so much good in the community. We see youth athletes being given tickets to University of Hawaii football games. They like to get backpacks away when it comes time to head back to school. So if Tua's foundation can use that as the model and start to give back in the same way that Marcus's foundation, they'll be in good shape.
I love seeing that, and it means so much, especially to the young people that are really kind of dreaming on the coattails of these stars that come from Hawaii.
Role models doing good, and good will come back to them.
Yeah.
Hey, we're waiting for that governor's press conference at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to carry it on air and online. We'll catch you then. Have a great weekend.
Aloha.